Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ruby. Let's get right to it. I'm going to be doing a patch 5.6 kind of rundown. Never actually done one of these, like in a video format before. I would always look at the patch notes on stream and stuff, and I'd decipher it, break it down, give you guys the tips and tricks to master the changes. But let's see how I do. And if people like it, I might do it more often. So anyway, let's get to it. Scarizard and Pwiff. Not gonna read that. No, I'm just kidding. These are usually good context statements. If you open the patch notes and you go to your favorite champion, it's like crazy nerfed. It's probably a good idea to read all the context and the little explanations for things before you go on Reddit and start raging. But no, I'm just kidding. So okay, first champion Aatrox. Massacre fills Aatrox's Bloodwell. So this is basically his ultimate. Every enemy champion you hit with the AoE part of your ultimate, you get 20% of your max Bloodwell. Aatrox's passive, basically every time he uses a spell that hurts him, he gains all that damage that he just did to himself, and it fills up his Bloodwell. So this is really nice. It'll let him max out on his Bloodwell easily in teamfights, which not only means he'll respawn with like more health, but it'll also cap out his attack speed really fast. So that's cool. Definitely a nice change. I don't think Aatrox is actually that bad. His team fighting becomes a little lackluster because he's still like skill shot reliant, but if he gets ahead, he just starts going off. So I actually think this change will be pretty damn nice for Aatrox. Probably see him a lot more often. So Mumu, he had a bug where his W was basically not turning off, so he was just weighing and crying all day, even if he had no mana. That's kind of broken. I mean, I could see some abuse cases where you just go in the jungle and you just keep jungling, but probably not. It's really not that big a deal. So our little buddy has been fixed. Quick side note: all these tank junglers, man, with Cinderhulk, they're getting pretty strong. Amumu is definitely one of them. But yeah, Annie nerfs. Oh, thank God. Tibbers aura damage scales with rank. Oh, never mind. So she got a little bit of a nerf. I think Annie's pretty damn good in solo queue at least because she just takes advantage of like really uncoordinated teams. So it's not so much her aura, more so her just like instant burst potential and her pick potential, but I would say this is fine. It's kind of just like a small nerf, takes down her early game a little bit. At the end, in late game, it outscales, but that's not really that big a deal. These are actually the kind of the direction that they've always taken with any nerfs more recently. Like the last changes they did, they gutted. Well, they didn't gut. They brought down her base damage and they increased the ratios. So kind of like always, they're kind of always moving her into more of like a late game threat while reducing her kill potential early because she has so much of it that it allows her to just start snowballing and go off. So Tibbers aura a little bit down. Bard, okay, so Bard kind of sucked after his release. Well, he didn't suck, but okay, people were bad at him and he wasn't that good. So he had like 36% win rate or something, and like every time you see a Bard in solo, he'd be like, dear God, he's gonna ult our entire team again. But I think the champion has potential. These are some nice little buffs, a little bit more damage on his Q. His E got the cooldown reduced, so you can just spam it more. And then yeah, now you're not gonna like click directly on the portal and like not be able to go through. Before it was like you had to click on the pathway to actually make that magical journey. But I'm sure now it's just gonna be really face roll. You can just click like anywhere around it, and you'll get it. This is pretty interesting too. Clones can have a command take a magical journey. I could see some really cool jukes with like the AP Shaco everyone's playing. You throw the clone through the thing, and then they're like get him, and they follow him, and then they just all die to it. That's pretty funny. Tempered Fate, whatever. Cassiopeia gets less AP when combined with percent AP amplifying effects. Okay, so basically they made a change to how Dragon interacts with percent AP modifiers, and it nerfed Cassiopeia. All they're saying is that it's like on paper right now, and they know it's a cast nerf. I think Cassiopeia was fine. I mean, I still spam her, and she's really fun. But if they really wanted to just completely like reverse the effect of this, then they would have like added like a very slight AP ratio increase to one of her spells. So I think they're like okay with Cassio getting a little nerf. We'll see how it goes out, but I don't really expect Cassio to get drastically changed in either win rate or playstyle or anything like that because of this. So she's probably not going to get any like compensation buffs, and I don't frankly think she needs them. So Elise got a little bit of buffs. Her human form went down, but then her spider form went up. So now there's a 25 move speed discrepancy between human and spider. you definitely want to be using Spider when you're moving around and like in combat and stuff when you're not looking for like the quick QE W burst combo in human form. And then yeah, so whatever. Cocoon, this is nice. 150 missile speed. Missile speed is very valuable because Cocoon is like pretty damn slow right now, and this will just allow you to nail someone, especially if they don't have the best reaction time before they can like flash or dash away. Evelynn got changed, so late game her stealth is on a shorter internal cooldown. This means you can pop out of it, burst some kids, kite around, run away, and then get back in stealth and then combo back in onto people. So I think it's cool. I'm a little bit interested. I think the move speed on her W passive was good, but I would guess that the new 1 second reduction on Dark Frenzy will be better. You'll probably get this up much more often in late game team fights, especially when you're not getting the resets. So I think Evelynn will be viable. I already see her get some play, and in solo queue she can still pop off really hard. So I don't think she's terrible right now, and I think this will bring her back to some level of play. Keep in mind she's competing with a lot of the tank junglers. Not that she can't build tank, you can definitely go for like a CDR, like Cinderhulk kind of build on her. But yeah, I think E will be fine. Galio, E's cooldown gets lower with rank. So before Galio, I think okay. So Galio, I think he's in an okay spot. He's honestly a really good pick against like multiple AP comps, and people are running a ton of them. But then again, there's also a lot of champs that are just like naturally good against him, and you'll see him all the time, like Cannon, Riven, that kind of stuff. So I think this is like a very small Galio buff. I don't think it's gonna incentivize people to start spamming him, but keep in mind his E does have utility on it as well, and in late game team fights, like you can get a big boost for your whole team by just throwing down the E and having them gust right through it. So I think this will definitely help him. I usually max E last, but I might have to reconsider because the cooldown went up by 1 second at level 1. So at least until like level 13, this will be a nerf to my previous Galio playstyle, but we'll see. Aurelia got nerfed. Oh, thank the Lord. No, I'm just kidding. Aurelia was definitely really, really strong. She was pretty balanced back in the day when she was competing against like all the tanks and like Mundo and Siobhan and all that stuff. Like and Renekton. She wasn't like crazy, but then over time, her kit just ended up becoming really, really good compared to everyone else's. And yeah, people learned how to lane with her really well, and people just honestly got better at Aurelia. So she became like a popular pick, and her E damage going down. Her E max actually was something that kind of gave her a resurgence in playstyle because it makes trading really, really strong. And it also makes ganks and like skirmishes always favored towards Aurelia because the CC duration and damage was just so high. And you also couldn't itemize against her because her E did magic damage and her Q and her W were doing like physical and true. But I think this will definitely bring her back down a notch. And Aurelia is still going to be strong, but I don't think she's going to be like overbearing. So I think that's a fine nerf. Katarina, base health and regen down, health level up. Yeah, Katarina got nerfed again. I think she's obviously still a problem for Riot in solo queue. She pretty much gets not like barely any competitive play. I think personally, I think she's really strong for solo queue, and she does deserve to get competitive play, but we just don't see it that often. So this base health nerf kind of reminiscent of like the Yasuo nerf they did back in the day. Well, not back in the day, like a few months ago. That kind of we just saw him like drop off completely. But I think Katarina will still be fine for solo queue. But I would be very, very hesitant to see anyone pick her in competitive play. I just think her early game is just gonna be a little bit too abusable now. But she can still do it. I mean, Katarina is an amazing champion. You can take her down, but she'll get up again. Anyway, Karthus base attack is less bad. When spamming late waste just doesn't cut it. So I haven't tested this out. Of course, I haven't been on the patch yet, but they made it, I'm assuming, smoother, faster, more responsive. That's fine. Honestly, Karthus' auto attack wasn't that terrible because it, due to the fact that it has such a slow windup, you could cancel it really fast and just guarantee you'd hit CS with it. But I mean, everyone just CS with late waste anyway. And then also for harassment, a slow auto attack animation is not necessarily a bad thing all the time. Like for example, Annie's little like pellet flies really slowly, so she has a lot of time to back out of like creep aggro range. And it oftentimes allows her to get off free harass without taking any damage. So LeBlanc, Aura's copy spell deals less damage. So a little bit of LeBlanc nerfs. Honestly, probably not a big deal. I think they're just kind of doing something to make people happy. I think LeBlanc's fine. I don't think she's a big problem. But yeah. little bit of AP ratio nerfs. She'll still be strong. R, so the Lux's R was bugged where you would basically if you combo someone and they have a passive proc on them, what was supposed to happen is that her ultimate was supposed to blow up the passive proc and do ultimate damage and reapply the passive, and then you could hit them again for another explosion of the passive. And the problem was they added an AP ratio of the passive, but when you'd explode it with your ultimate, it wouldn't apply. So you'd be doing actually quite a bit less damage in full combos. And I know like the few Lux games I've played, I've had people live with like a sliver after my full combo. So honestly, pretty nice bug fix. I think Lux mains will be happy about that. Nidalee, basically they're saying that they know Nidalee is strong, but they think tank junglers are making a comeback and they're going to be kind of possibly crowding her out. We'll see. Personally, I think Nidalee is still really, really good. But yeah, no changes now. Nidalee mains wipe a bead of sweat off their brow. Nocturne ultimate cooldown is down in the early levels. This basically just allows them to make more plays and get going. Nocturne typically is considered like a farm jungler. He used to have like his 3-minute cooldown for his ult. So you try an ultimate, you succeed or fail, and you just keep farming, and you would go for like late game hyper carry status. But now with like reduced cooldown his ult, this is going to allow him to make more plays early and possibly get snowballing. And yeah, he's not like a tank jungler, so I think they're trying to kind of push like the little kids off the block into the level where they can compete with like Nidalee and like Sejuani and that kind of stuff. So should be nice. Oh my god, the Quinn. Okay, so Quinn, honestly, I would play her, and I think she's strong, at least for solo queue. She wins lane like really easily, especially against melee champions. So I think these are not like it's not like they're doubling the damage on her ult, but they're just like little changes that will definitely help her out. Like Quinn's E will now give you an auto-tech reset, which is really nice. Before, I'd oftentimes like auto, E, and then it'd be like, okay, when's my next auto coming? Chop, chop, chop. And it would take forever, but now it's going to be like way easier to like blow up people in combo. And it'll always apply your passive, which is, oh god, it's so nice because there was like, it was just a bug where you'd E someone and then like it wouldn't apply the passive, and that's like all your burst a lot of times. So that's really good. Fix an issue where Vulcan sometimes move Quinn out of her basic attack range and cast on close range targets. So yeah, it would just knock you too far back, and you'd be like, wait a second, I was trying to kill him, not get away. And then vaulting off an enemy passive terrain is now easier. That's nice. If you're like up against the wall and you E, it'll just probably throw you over if you land like somewhere in between it. So definitely happy with these Quinn changes. I know I'll be playing her quite a bit, and we'll see how it goes. Rammus Q mana down. Nothing to really see here. I think he's probably fine with the Cinderhulk and that kind of stuff, so should see him a bit more. Rise Q damage is up. I think his old damage was like 60, 85. I think it used to be 160 at max rank, so it's a little bit of a buff. I think they gutted him back in the day or like a few months ago for good reason. I mean, he was really, really strong, but I actually do expect to see him a bit more with these changes. We'll see. Sejuani nurse. Sejuani, little bit of max health down, and then her slow on her ult. If you hit the ultimate like dead on, it'll still stun people. But if you miss, like the slow goes down from 90% to 30%, which I think is fine. It makes sense. It used to like you didn't even have to hit your ult before because the slow was just so overbearing. And then yeah, Sejuani. Honestly, I think Sejuani will still be fine. She still does a ton of damage. She still gets massive incentive to build tanky. Probably one of the top junglers for the next patches at least. Oh, Singed. Okay, so what they did to Singed was they made it so his E now has max health damage. It seems like anytime they're like, how do we fix this bruiser? They're just like, give him some max health. But I think he'll probably benefit from this. It'll make him a bit stronger. It doesn't have an AP ratio, so it's not like AP Singed is going to be godlike, but his AP ratio has stayed intact, and I think for squishies, this is going to be doing a little bit less damage at certain ranks, but against like tanky people and in like late game scenarios, it should definitely be a overall buff. But yeah, I think we'll just let him deal with a lot of those like bruisers and tank junglers a little bit more effectively. So I think that's good. Sion. So what they're doing is they're nerfing his Q damage to monsters, 90% to 80%, pretty minimal, and then his E, the pass through when you freaking P shoot something through, it's a 20% nerf as well. So decent nerf on his E. Sion, as a top laner and a jungler, has been a real power pick. A little bit under the radar because he doesn't like get in your face and just destroy you, but his consistent damage and his like survivability is ridiculous. So I think he's pretty much a monster, and this will probably bring him down a notch, but he'll still be viable. Twitch passive increase in damage, a little bit of a buff. I think that's nice. Twitch is not really played much. He gets countered by a lot of stuff that people are picking, but he's obviously still a really strong champion, and between metas, he's sometimes like one of the top picks. So wouldn't be surprised to see Twitch make a comeback. Veigar buffs, so passive regen up, Q range up, E stops dashes. So his passive, a little bit of a buff. His passive still feels kind of odd. I figured when they'd rework him, they would have changed something about this, but I think they're just trying to make it come back in terms of usefulness, and honestly, not that big a deal. Q Baleful Strike range increased by 100. Nice. I think Veigar is in a weird spot right now. I still don't really like his laning phase, but I think he does have potential. And then the new E, if you try like use a Graves dash or like a Riven combo through his E, you'll get stunned. So unless you're like Ezreal or something, you're blinking through it, or Kassadin, you'll have trouble. You'll have trouble breaking out of the boxes easily. So I'm not sure. I mean, I want Veigar to be successful. I really enjoyed playing him before the rework, and I'll definitely try him out after this, but I don't really know how far it'll go. We'll see. Vel'Koz. So basically what happened is Vel'Koz can now cancel his ultimate by taking Thresh Lantern. Oh my god. Thank you, Riot. This has been a big problem for me. Every time I'm in a team fight and I'm ulting as Vel'Koz and the Thresh Lanterns me, I'm like, oh god, I can't grab it, but this is a big change. No, I'm just kidding. It's not really important. It's literally the only situation where it's useful is when you're like scrambling to get out of a situation on Vel'Koz and your mid ult. So I think it's just kind of staying consistent with a lot of other champions who, unless they're like actually stunned by an enemy, they can always grab Thresh Lantern. So yeah, that's whatever. Yorick. This is actually pretty big. I think Q-Max Yorick against melees in the top lane is really strong. So they're increasing his range by 50, and you now get a cool ass critical strike animation for hitting him with the Q. So that's pretty cool. I think this will definitely be a nice buff, and he's already starting to see some more play. Unicorns of Love ran him in a Yorick Cassiopeia comp, so I think Yorick will be pretty good. I'll probably be playing him top lane a little bit more. Ziggs buffs, a little bit of mana cost down, not bad. This combined with the future Athene change will probably make him start to come back a little bit. But yeah, this is pretty nice. Max rank, 20 mana down. Zilean, we're buffing everything. So Zilean got reworked. He was pretty bad, I would say. I mean, I played him a few times. He seems like he has potential, but he just wasn't. His numbers just weren't there yet. So just a little bit increase on the AP ratio. Mana cost down. Mana cost down. Mana cost down. Cooldown reduced. This is a pretty big buff, honestly, from a numbers standpoint. We'll see how effective it is at getting his play and win rate up, though. And then mass texture bands, blah blah blah. No one cares. Chalice of Harmony, cheaper. So 900. I don't know why I said future here. It's this patch. So they made Chalice cheaper. Still is the same thing. Pretty nice. And then Morello got a buff. Mana regen increase on base mana regen is up from 50 to 100. So it's not matching Morello Nomicon, which I think it probably should have done all from the start. And then mana restore on kill and assist, 15% to 30. So if you're an AP champion and you're against magic damage threats, I think Athene's will be back. I think it's fine. Before, it was like, well, Morello just gives way better stats. It doesn't give MR, but it's just cheaper and more cost efficient. But I think, again, on someone that you're going to be spamming spells on and you want to keep your mana pool up, this change will definitely help bring Athene's back into the meta. So expect to be seeing this little guy a lot more. Righteous Glory fixed the bug where you couldn't get the active move speed running towards turrets and capture points. So Righteous Glory was already good. I'm surprised this has been a bug since it came out, but yeah, probably just expect to see it bought at the same rate. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, oh my god, Righteous Glory, thank god, and then they'll just start buying it a bunch more. But yeah, definitely a strong item. Rift Scuttler. So before you'd get the crab and it'd be pretty much like 3 times the vision that it would provide, which is crazy. Now it just basically provides like a little bit of circle of vision. So the importance of Rift Scuttler, I think, will definitely go down. Rift Scuttler as like a late game objective was ridiculous because it was just like the gateway to getting Dragon and Baron really easily. So definitely nice. Well, not a nice change, but it's a pretty interesting change. We'll see how it affects competitive play. I just know that like I personally really like the importance of Rift Scuttler because I felt like not only were you fighting for like Baron and Dragon, you'd be prepping and trying to get like the perfect Rift Scuttler timing. But honestly, it was pretty strong, so we'll see how this affects stuff. Base gates, the the Shaco and Heimerdinger traps are going to be insane. I am not looking for. I'm not really happy with this AP Shaco meta. It crushes like all these melee champions, and if you're walking around the enemy base and you just randomly run into a trap, that'd be pretty bad. But I think it'll lead to some cool hijinks. Jungle EXP increased across the board. I'm pretty interested in this. I guess they just wanted to kind of allow junglers to stay even in levels, and they noticed like as a system, the jungle was not providing enough experience. So we'll see how this affects champions. I mean, I feel like farm junglers will be able to just like out level like some certain solo laners if they commit to it really hard with this. But we'll see. And then music, blah, blah, blah. Luden's Echo, Twisted Tree Line. No one plays that. Howling Abyss. Whatever. Player tooltips, bug fixes. Alright, awesome. So that was my patch 5.6 rundown. Hopefully something in there was entertaining or helpful. Let me know if you guys like this, and I'll probably do it again. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's your boy, the boy. Take care, everyone. See ya. Win OP.